What's up, everyone? It's Gabby Trades and welcome back to the channel. Now, the market's been holding up pretty strong right now, and we got that signal pretty early on. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did to find out what the market is going to do this week. And we're also going to break down what could that mean for your trades. Plus, we're going to look at some key new events that we need to know about, right? But before we dive in, as usual, you guys make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. If you're new here, welcome, and hit the bell notification so you never miss when I'm live here with you, bringing you the latest price insights. Hello, EJ Club. Okay, you guys, so make sure you keep active in the chat box. So I want to first start with, of course, the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, which we just got. It basically measures how much prices are going up with things that we used to buy every day, right? So it's a key way to track what inflation is doing. So the latest number came in slightly cooler than expected, meaning that inflation isn't rising as fast as some feared. So let's go ahead and look at that. Hello, everyone. Over here, first of all, I need to share the screen. Let's have a look. Listening but can't chat much. Broadeg location, no worries, Med, as long as you are following over here what we're giving, because this is a great alpha, you guys. We've been tracking price since I've started in Coin Bureau with you. We have been tracking price to the T. I need you guys to understand that these live streams are important for you. I'm coming here twice a week. You guys need to be here and follow. So let's have a look at the CPI over here. So basically we had sort of good news, especially the 2.7 here year over year. It is cooler, right? That's what we call a cooler report. Now that's good news, right? Because when inflation slows, the Feds are less likely to do something crazy like raise interest rates, for example. And that report that we currently got, it tends to boost the stocks, and risk assets are very happy with these sort of reports. Now, if inflation, for example, was hotter than expected, right? Just for context, if we were hotter than expected, that would have spooked everyone. Investors would have been super scared, and they would probably start selling, especially with stocks, being at high valuations. They would absolutely start selling, in my opinion. So today's softer reading gives us a little bit of a breathing room, which is very, very good over here. Now, another thing that I shared earlier on my channel as well is the actual CPI report here that was I think from last month. So basically the thing about this report is that it does get sampling errors, right? So if you open here the file, which is available for everyone, hello Lucien, you need to understand that, such as everything, right, statistically there is of course some sort of subject to sampling error, because it is based upon a sample of retail prices and not the complete universe of all prices. So that's important to note over here. But looking at these kind of reports, you guys, I recommend you do that, because then you will find out why and what contributed mostly to the reports, right? So when we had lower numbers over here, for example, in the last months, when we had lower numbers, that was due to energy prices being down. So that will mean crude oil being down, the price of crude oil, for example. So then you look at these things and you try to gauge what you could potentially expect. Now, in terms of that, I think we're done. Then another thing that it's important for us to note is that Trump says that gold logs are not going to be gold logs, biggest daily price drop in 3 logs, biggest daily price drop in 3 months. That was very good, because I did catch that short on Monday. I'm going to tell you how I did it. But the most important thing is that Trump says it won't be subject to tariffs, right? Which puts rest on anxiety that came in earlier from customs ruling that probably that is going to be the case otherwise, But now that we have this news hit, gold immediately fell, right? The prices of gold fell down. So futures felt harder than the spot. In fact, double. Futures fell 2.4%. And then we had Spot fell 1.2%, which was, by the way, the biggest drop, one-day drop that we had in a few months, in probably 3 months for gold, which is quite intense over here. But of course, that's because gold prices are surging due to uncertainty, right? So we got prices above 3,500 per ounce for gold, and now that you're getting this kind of fear is eased a little bit, so that safe haven buying is unwinding in a way. Another thing that Trump did over here, if it loads, if it doesn't load, I think I have another one, yes, over here. So he basically paused the tariff on China. This is very interesting. He had that executive order coming yesterday for another 90 days. So that means that there is not going to be any jumps on tariffs that used to be threatened to go over 145%. So now they're going to be staying at the 30%. And that is actually very strategic again on Trump's side, because think about it, it is just going to get some pressure off the retailers exactly in the preparation for the holidays, right? Holiday season, when everyone goes out and buys stuff. So this is yet again another strategic play, if you ask me. But overall, when we look at the market, we have cooler inflation, we have no gold tariffs, trade truce extension. So the market is getting a short-term boost in confidence, but we need to remember and we need to be ready that there are some seasonal factors that we need to be looking over here, and overall valuations are pretty high, right? When moon, EG Club, yes, moon. We're gonna have a look at the markets right now, and I'm gonna tell you over here how am I seeing and what am I seeing in the markets. So by the way, this drop over here again, I'm here with you guys on Tuesday late in the afternoon. I do these streams way earlier on my own channel. I highly recommend just go on here. What you need to do is like get on the video down here. This is gonna start again, I know that. Click down in the description box and make sure you follow my main YouTube account down here, where I get the updates way earlier in advance. So for example, on Monday, I prepared my community, everyone that's watching me on YouTube, that we're gonna get this drop over here. So the reason for that is, and I've been trying to prepare you also from last week, all of this move over here, since we were together on Coin Bureau, we were prepared for it. Now, the thing is over here, the way I look at this structure, right, the way I look at time and price is in this specific way. I always look at the second week opening of the month. That is what matters to me, because that is when most of the reversals are happening. So over here, yesterday was with the bell ringing on Monday, we're having the reversal came in. So it was important always to wait for Monday to play out in order to develop the bias. So the idea yesterday, right, when I was with everyone on YouTube, I was trying to tell you guys, right, it is important for price to stay above this level over here. So that would be 119,287 above, right? When the end dates and when the day ends on Monday, it was important for us to close price above this level in order to maintain bearish bias, and the invalidation for that was clearly below over here, below that area. So that happened. So now that gave me a bullish bias. So now anywhere between this little line over here, down here, that was the bias for Bitcoin. But as you can see, Bitcoin is the asset that's performing a little bit less like you're not getting too many returns if you are taking a buy on Bitcoin. So that as well today I also tried to discuss with everyone. There is ways on how you can do that, on how you can track which asset is the stronger asset. In this case, the asset that was stronger was Ethereum, right? So you want to be long, right? Even though you find the bias throughout the day, and then you're like, okay, what should I long? Should I long Bitcoin? Should I long Ethereum? There is clear signals that the chart is giving you to tell you which of both assets is more likely to give the highest returns. And if you are long here with the bias, so let's say Ethereum is up today 4.2% and Bitcoin is up almost 0.3, right? So obviously Ethereum was the one that was supposed to be traded today. I'm subscribing only because I like your voice. Oh, that's not good enough. You need to like my analysis because it's been so good, and you guys are, you know, I hope you guys like it. But anyway, here let's go back to Bitcoin and assess over here a little bit what the current situation is. So Bitcoin is not at its strongest right now, but it still has a bullish bias until this momentum, right? So anywhere that price is trading, of course, now you have CPI. Now, when you have CPI, right, and you open the 15-minute, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, you guys. So I don't know, anytime I start streaming and then the sneezing comes in. But anyway, so the idea is once you get the CPI news, right, and then you get a data candle, right? You get a data candle. It's ideal actually to look at it on the 15-minute time frame. So basically, when you get the data candle over here, you need to mark the highs and the lows of these data candles and know that what tends to happen more often than not is that both ends of this thank you, EJ, both and $5 for BTC, both ends of the data highs and lows tend to go. So here we have a clear sweep of the lows, so that's good for now, and I'm still maintaining the bullish bias even for Bitcoin up until now, right? Ethereum is what's most interesting right now, so let's have a look over here. On a lower time frame, Ethereum has double liquidity. We're going to look at that in a little bit, but anyway, here was also the signal basically, right? It was very short term, so if you were awake, not like me, right, here is basically where you get the signal that you can go long, right, that you can go long. And of course, when price is traveling down to the confirmation of the true month open, which is this line over here, 4,248 on Bitcoin, this is pretty much another signal. But as you can see, the asset is too strong. It doesn't even need to go back and retest the true month open over here. So now let's have a look. If you're long ETH, what could be here happening, right? What could be happening? Let's go on a daily time frame here. So yeah, I think ETH is going to be quite fine because there is a small liquidity over here, a small liquidity level that has been left at around 4,492.13. So that's one level here that I'm looking to liquidate. And then what I want everyone to pay very close attention is, yes, it's very highly likely that Ethereum is going to perform really well, but there is a lot of potentials for pullbacks, especially from this area up here. Now this triangular formation, again, these formations, I use them with my indicators. Again, if you go under the description box, you can find them, you guys, at extreme value. This is pretty much everything I use for my trading, and also I'm doing a course on my own with all of the things that I use for my trading and all the biases and how I get them. You can sign up for that again under the description box. And under the description box, you can find all kinds of sign-up bonuses and trading platforms that Coin Bureau and me have kindly organized for you guys, where you can get super cool sign-up bonuses, etc. So make sure you check that out, you guys. It's under the description box. Don't forget to do that. So yeah, basically this is it. So let's mark this area to have a good idea of where this area could potentially come in for us, right? Down here. So where we can see is that we can potentially see some sort of pullback on Ethereum at around 4,787, between 4,787 and 4,879. In my opinion, this area could be some sort of a rejection area, even though I'm very bullish on ETH for now. Right, for now, and that could mean that we could exit the current range or the high at 4,937, and we could indeed come up to 5K. That would be interesting. But if you're long, enjoy that ride, and yeah, definitely enjoy it. So Kai Young saying altcoin season dead. Well, it's going to be a little bit difficult than what everyone else is expecting or has been expecting. Of course, things have changed massively, but like I said, you guys, to you, and I'm going to repeat it again, in my opinion, this bull run is going to be continuing for quite a bit of time. Like, a lot of people will be exiting the market by October. It is so common. You hear everyone is saying, oh, this bull run is going to last until October. Well, these people, I don't think they are going to be correct, right? The bull run is going to be extended, in my opinion, up into next year, and it's potentially going to go up until February, in my opinion. And I think that the biggest gains that Bitcoin is going to see, I'm not sure what's going to happen to alts whatsoever, but there is definitely going to be momentum during the autumn time, in my opinion. So I'm pretty much looking forward to that. And, you know, I've been trading TradFi for so many years, and I can tell you that the winter time is usually a very good time for the stock market, right? We usually get Santa rallies, and we usually get price doing really, really well. Let's have a look here at Bitcoin. So basically, yes, last week, this is what I was trying to tell you, that was the long with the idea to take the double liquidity up here, right? Which executed pretty much nicely during the weekend. We actually haven't had time to discuss that as well, but you guys know very well, especially the ones that have been watching me for a little bit, you guys understand that I was very bullish soon as we swept down here and we found support in the daily support. Again, levels that I get with my indicators, you guys, don't wait, go and get them, because you will see the exact levels on your chart. I don't care what strategy you use, these ones are very, very useful. Extremely useful, and you won't find them anywhere else. Now, we're not talking about RSI, we're not talking about MACD indicators over here, indicators that are lagging indicators, right? These are indicators that will show you price with history that you can apply right now immediately, right? And even before price has reached to that level, you know very well that this, for example, is going to be some sort of support, and that this levels up here are going to be a resistance, etc., etc. So this is very important to know. Do you see more pullback on Sol? Love your work. Yes, we're gonna move to Sol right now. Of course, this is what we do, right? We go Bitcoin, we go Ethereum, and then we move to Sol, you guys. That's how I like to run this show over here. So for Solana, again, if you were watching the show last week, what I was trying to tell you is that Solana needs to come up over here to take this liquidity, right? I still left the marking over here because I want to show you what we've predicted and what we're seeing right now, so you guys start understanding the value that I'm trying to bring to you. Yes, make sure you guys hit that like button. In fact, let's do a quick check on how many likes we got over here.
Imagine.
And these ads, you know, Google, I was going to say Google, YouTube suggested that I'm gonna take like a premium, and I think I might do that. We have 115 people watching and we have only 39 likes, you guys. That's absolutely unacceptable. At least 70 more likes, super easy. We can do that right now. So you guys, make sure you hit the like button, so then I can see that you are finding value in what I'm trying to do. It's so easy, it doesn't cost you anything. And make sure you check the description box for my main YouTube channel, where I am live pretty much every day, giving you updates way in advance. So basically, okay, let's go ahead here and remove this so you don't get confused. But that's why I left this marking, because I wanted you to see that this was the liquidity level that I wanted for Solana to take. And then price is obviously weaker now, so we need to see Sol pick up some momentum, right? We usually would see Ethereum pick up momentum, then we're gonna see Sol pick up momentum. So it's gonna happen, but you just need to be patient, right? You just need to be patient. So you have the buy zone for Solana over here. It's very clear, you guys. Yes, we came down, we came already. Actually, no, we haven't even came down to that zone. Look at that. So that zone is literally over here. So if anything happens, when price travels in between that zone, right, and it doesn't even need to travel too deep, it can just tap into the zone. To be fair, is this playing? No. Or am I hearing the music over here? Yeah, I'm hearing the music. Anyway, so the thing is, it doesn't even have to travel deep into that zone, because it seems like it might retrace, if it continues to retrace, to 171.57, and that would be a very good area, in my opinion, for me to come in and start adding, because yeah, that would be a nice area to do so, because of the order block over here that has left also price imbalance. It is very nice. And the thing is also, when you're looking at these candles over here, right, you can see these two candles in particular, you can see that that's some engineered liquidity just above the fair value gaps, which is the space in between these three candles, this one, and this one down here. I'm not going to go into deep lessons right now, but this down here is engineered liquidity. So any tap, right, any wick down to this particular order block over here is going to be pretty much enough for price to bounce up from. Does that make sense? So that's for Solana. I wouldn't worry for any deeper retracements. And if that happens, right, if that happens, because you guys are interested if it's going to happen, everything is possible in these markets. So if anything like that happens, again, you guys, you have the daily support at 162, and you have the 0.5 and at 154. We don't know if we're going to be lucky to get price to drop down to these areas again, but if it does, it's going to be a great opportunity, in my opinion, right? So that's for Solana over here. Hit that like button, you guys. Yes, I'm gonna come and do a check on you. Okay, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to be stopping the ads again, but make sure you like that video. So okay, over here, what can we continue with? Do we have any outs that you guys want to see, or no? Because if you don't, then we're gonna move on to gold. So yeah, my trade is pretty much gonna hit take profit very soon. So this is a trade that I took on Monday over here. The levels were very clear for price to retrace into a massive area of premium pricing for gold. Somehow it was together coupled with tariffs and you know, Trump. I can never tell you guys, but by the way, every time some news comes out and you have developed your bias before that, you will clearly start seeing that the biases that you've developed actually match with the news that you're getting. So when you start getting these things in your trading analysis, that's when you start realizing, okay, maybe I'm doing something right over here and I should continue doing so. But as you notice over here, my take profit is not too extended, because I don't know if gold is going to find support down here at the end of this fair value gap down here, right? So this is where I'm looking to cut some of my profits if I can, because actually I'm very low. I think I'm like 1 micro lot over here, so that's not much at all. But overall, gold has massive liquidation down here at 3,000, almost 3,250 level, or 3,245 to be more precise, or 44. So yeah, this is a level that you definitely need to be looking out for. And here on a daily time frame, if you get that level swept on gold, I would definitely consider some buys over here, because it would be looking quite nice. Although we did get one mitigation over here of the order block. I don't know if you can see it with this candle over here. This candle over here was a very clear mitigation. Pretty much same setup with Sol, right? Pretty much same setup with Sol that we were looking, right? So Sol left an order block, created a fair value gap, and then created engineered liquidity just below it. And then price came down, and with just one wick, with this candle, price comes and taps into the order block, clears all the engineered liquidity above it, and it's ready to go on its way. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking out for. Chrisma, we literally just looked at Solana. You guys, make sure you like the video if you haven't. Welcome to all the new people here. What do we have? Pengu. Yes, I was looking at Pengu today, in fact, with my community. Again, go and check out my main YouTube channel if you haven't. It's under the description box down here. But we're gonna have a look at Pengu. So yeah, basically for Pengu, this is the buy zone that I'm looking at over here. It's going to be nice if it holds one more time, because it's already been tapped 2 times, 3 times max. If it happens to be tapped 4 times, I don't think it's going to hold. But yeah, you potentially want to be looking at something like that. And if you're very, very bullish on the asset, like I said, I wanted to at least drop to, at the very minimum, at 0.0335555. I think that's going to be ideal early entry, right? And I do think it's going to be an early entry, but yeah, that's what I see for Pengu over here. Hi from Argentina. Hello, hello, hello. You guys, so many new people here. Again, make sure you go under the description box in the video and check all of the promotions that we have here for you guys. I think it's very important for you to go and check that. Why do I have to stop this twice? It's so annoying. We have 72 likes. We can do 30 more likes easily over here. But yeah, basically the point is, make sure you follow my main YouTube channel, which is right here, and then you can sign up for my strategy course waitlist. Very important. All the deals that Coin Bureau have managed to get for us, by the way, don't forget, Coin Bureau are massive and they're getting deals that nobody else in the market can get for us, right? So we're getting 2-bit 30k, up to 30k bonuses, coin catch 150 sign up bonus dollars, right? So all of these over here, make sure you check them out if you're looking for somewhere to trade. That's my recommendations over here. ADA, actually, let's focus on ADA because I'm also interested. Here we need to move that to crypto, in fact, and we're gonna look at the perps. Oh wait, that's because I'm not in my crypto stuff. I have too many over here. Let's get rid of this so we can look at the clean chart over here. So yeah, ADA pretty much like we said, in between levels, but you know, you want it, if you want to be a bit more secure, you kind of want this level to break, right? You kind of really would hope for 0.8126 to break, because it seems to be a massive level of resistance over here for quite some time. So you really want price to be above that, right? Let's have a look on a weekly time frame. If we're seeing, okay, so weekly doesn't look that good at all, to be fair. So I'm not a huge fan on trading ADA at this point, because it has this liquidity down here that hasn't been cleaned on a weekly time frame. So that for me is like at a very dangerous zone, and I would not be interested in. But in case something happens and price starts dropping down, I think in around, this is going to be crazy because I can't even see that, but it's going to be in around this area over here that I might be interested. So that is going to be in between 0.36, 0.37 also almost, and 0.3158, right? So 0.37, 0.315. I think that's the area where I'll be interested in case we get a drop, right? Which I don't think we will, because the market is doing quite well right now. But yeah, in case we do, I would be looking for that. That would be my ultimate, and I do like a little bit more extreme zones to trade with, right? But yeah, again, you're literally in between support and resistance right now, and you're finding support, you're finding resistance, you're finding support, you're finding resistance. You really want to wait for one level to break. You want for one level to break, and price will find a place to retrace. There is no way that it's just gonna go one way. Yes, you guys, what do you have to say about Pancake? Nothing, to be honest with you. APT, let's have a look at APT. Yeah, I mean, you guys, here on a weekly, what can I tell you? I gave you the buy levels. I gave you the buy levels over here. This was the buy zone, so that's the buy. You have lots of resistances down here. This is a very, very weak price. It's not really showing too much resilience, right? It's not really showing too much resilience. The overall chart is not looking too bad, right? So this is how I assess if an asset is doing well. So we haven't created here overall a lower low on from 2023, I mean, right, on a higher time frame, the overall picture. So that is good. That means that the asset could potentially run. And I know that a lot of you like it, and I know that whatever, the technology is good, which I don't know nothing about. But for me, what I'm interested in is the technicals over here, and you clearly have a bearish leg. This is the bearish leg over here, if you see it. That's the bearish leg. That's broken structure over here, right? Broken this low. So when you see something like that, you need to be prepared that when price, even when it comes to the buy zone down here, right? Even when it comes to the buy zone, you need to be prepared that somewhere around here, there will be some sort of rejection. Why? Because you're having two confirmations for rejection over here. First confirmation is you're having this resistance over here at 4.83. Second is you're trading a bearish leg right now that has clearly left a zone of resistance, right? So that would be a bearish order block or supply demand, whatever you want to call it. But when price comes up here, there is a very, very high chance that it is going to reject, which is good, right? Which is good because that is going to give you an extra opportunity for you to re-enter on a higher low within this asset over here, right? So we can see that price is rejecting, right? Rejecting, and it finds support again where in the daily support slash resistance SR flip, whatever you want to call it, at 4.568, and it's nicely rejecting. So that is overall bullish for now, right? It is overall bullish, and it means that we might come up and we might start clearing some areas over here where we'll be getting a little bit more strength in terms of overall you know, APT targets. I don't have, but the first thing I can see is that, you know, $7 is coded the way you guys say it on Twitter or whatever. So APT $7 at the very minimum coded, and just above it we have you know, a massive level of resistance at 7.673, right? So this is what we're looking at up here. Let's see what else. And once we get to that level, right, then the most likely area for rejection, then you're looking for it to be around $10.6, and if we're very lucky, price could extend to potentially $16, which is a lot of returns, right? If we're looking at that from where price is currently right now, if we get to the 0.786, that is going to be almost 250%, which is going to be quite insane if that happens. Yeah, you guys are most and welcome. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you like this video and make sure you come in the description box and check all of the promotions that Coin Bureau has organized for you guys with the help of you know, the team and everything. But they're really good, right? You get a lot of bonuses, sign-up bonuses that you probably won't get anywhere else. And you can also follow my main YouTube channel where I get live almost every day besides Friday, to give you guys the latest price updates. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here, and thank you so much once again for another great stream with another with so many great people over here. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Make sure you make it for the live stream on Thursday as well. See you guys in the next one.